well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome, my friends. We're back live. I'm going to try to slam through some calls here and then get to our guest, Mary Moore and Kevin Sullivan, from the Bohemian Grove Action Network, the folks that protest the globalist occult retreat. We'll have wide open phones for that as well. All right, Mary Moore's been holding for the last 3 minutes, and I really appreciate that. Again, you can go to their website by going to Infowars.com. We have big links to the Bohemian Grove Action Network with some of the best reportage in the last 20 years. And, frankly, I see their argument really against me in the Press Democrat and in the local Bohemian newspaper. And, I can say they got a point that why don't we talk about how they control our country and our government and how it's an elite enclave that's genetically modifying the food, creating all these nuclear weapons, the toxic waste, the corruption, manufacturing consent. All of this is emanating from there. But at the same time, come on, if predominantly conservative leaders and bankers are going to meet and get in red and black robes and worship a 45-foot stone owl god and claim they're born-again Christians, it's a point I'm going to make on the air. And then we sent Ed Homan out there to get video this year, and they have the Resurrection of Care, 500, 800 people, a lot of people out there protesting. Several hundred danced around a cauldron and stirred it and sent 4 spirits in, try to heal or wake up the people inside. Well, that's like the Indians in a ghost dance. It's not going to do anything. You got to fight this stuff. You got to get politically involved. So I get criticized for talking about the religious aspects of the elite in there engaged in their occult ceremony, and that's what it is. Oh, great owl of Babylon and Tyre. But then the people out there protesting have got a cauldron. Now, I didn't see Mary Moore out there on the video part of that, but she was there at the protest. And we're about to go to you, Mary. I just wanted to read this to people. It says, the Brits, however, get the award for the most outlandish effort in a mini-series documentary for England's Channel 4 television, described by one London friend as a sleazy. A film crew follows a Texas conspiracy theorist. Yeah, they're putting thumb scanners in for kids to get lunches. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Named Alex Jones, a radio talk host in Austin, who's preparing to infiltrate the Grove. John Ronson, the show's producer and author of the companion piece in a recent British edition of Esquire magazine, seems taken aback by Jones' stories of presidents running around naked. Well, David Gergen admits that in the Washington Times. Hints of child sacrifice. Well, they bring a bound body up there. I mean, come on. And descriptions of rituals worshiping the devil owl. There's much talk of the New World Order, Luciferian religion ceremonies. Well, New York Observer just caught the video at Skull and Bones where all the Bushes have gone as they slit the throats of 2 women and claiming it in effigy, and then the devil comes out and invites him into the crypt. I mean, we're talking about Jenna Bush running around drunk in downtown Austin, but I'm not supposed to talk about that? I mean, come on. It's not a conspiracy. There's much talk of New World Order, of Luciferian religious ceremonies, of bankers and media moguls who rule the world from inside the secret room. Our last interviews with 2 Sonoma County people who were crying foul, saying they were led to believe that this was to be a serious documentary. And we've got Mary Moore right there. Mary Moore, who is openly flummoxed at the suggestion of child sacrifice, and Santa Rosa lawyer Rick Williams, who has come to tell Jones how he and a friend, SSU instructor Peter Phillips, walked right into the Grove, nodded to the guard, and stayed all day a couple of years back. But Jones, the radio guy with paranoia leaking from every pore, yeah, I saw another military checkpoint, by the way, last week in Austin, suspects Williams of being a secret agent for the Bohemians who are out to capture him. Now, that's the British, and that's not true. It was a joke. He said, you think he's an agent, Alex? And I said, oh, yeah, he is. I don't want to end up tied down on a pentagram with Henry Kissinger hanging over me with his fat belly in my mouth. Well, that's a misquote. I didn't say that. I said with his fat belly hanging out. Or Bush in a pink tutu, foaming at the mouth, running around with a dagger and a pink wig on, he tells British TV crew. You don't want to know how it ends. It's a screechy, insane, anti-government diatribe, but you should know that Moore, whose protests have never assumed anything near these proportions, is outraged. Pointing out correctly that Bohemian Grove Action Network has never protested what goes on inside the Grove. We don't care what they do in there, she said. We care about what they do outside in the real lives. She never expected she would change minds and bring any of the Bohemians over to her side, but the Grove encampment, like the World Trade Organization meeting, is an appropriate place to call attention to opposing viewpoints. And I never told Violet to go find this in the Press Democrat archives and post it, but I'll tell her right now. It should be up there by the end of the show. We're about to go to Mary Moore and give out the website. But the point that has to be made here is that the left and right, it's all phony, folks. We got to come together against this corruption. And all I did was sneak in there and catch the first ever video of it. And Mary Moore admitted to me on the phone Monday morning that, Alex, you think your program that you snuck out is bad. We have all the programs. And I saw it on our video that we shot when we were there this year, Ed did, of the owl stepping on a person with blood running out of him. So, I mean, that's a symbol of a human sacrifice. I was 150 yards away. I don't know if it was real. But these people bomb innocent countries and murder people, and they're killers. And they're not Christians and they're not conservatives. All right, Mary Moore, had to do that intro. It's good to have you on the show.
Well, it's good to be here. My gosh, that's a lot to respond to.
Well, it's all documented.
Well, no, I understand. I guess to start off, I'd like to say that I agree with you about the left and the right, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, the labels. We really do, and that's why I agreed to come on here. I think probably you and I know that our politics may run in different channels. However, I think we can all agree that a certain class of people are making a profit, often at our expense. I think we can all agree that the militarization of the police is happening. I think we can all agree that Henry Kissinger is not our friend. So, again, it depends on where you're going to put your focus. Now, we have focused on the cremation of care for 20 years. That's why we've done the resurrection of care. And we've done that in a lot of different ways. So it's not that we are ignoring that. You kind of came in 20 years later, and you were outraged, validly and rightfully so. However, I think right now with what is going on in the world, and you made the litany, of course there's more, but that is right now where our focus is. We know they're killing babies. Whether or not they're killing them up at the Grove, I don't know. And the reason that I hesitate on that one is because we have friends, believe it or not, inside the Grove. They're not members, they're workers. And they've been up there. We've known some of them for 20 years or so, and that's how we've gotten our information. We couldn't have gone as far as we've done or done any of our research without these people.
Well, Mary, it was your information through the British that helped me get in, but they really weren't too keen on me meeting with you, so...
Well, you know what? The British, I think, created an unnecessary division there. I think we both feel a little burned by the British. I know I do.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we need to start off from there and let people know what the hell we're talking about.
Well, I hear you, Mary. And in the next hour, I'll probably hold you over a little bit in the next hour because I cut short a little bit. I want to get into the real issues of what we can prove they do outside the Grove.
Exactly, and I do believe that another spokesperson for Bohemian Grove Action Network is going to be joining us around 10:30. His name is Kevin Sullivan, and I think you're really going to enjoy what he has to say. So where do we start?
Well, a lot of big decisions do get made in the Grove. We're about to break. What are some of those big decisions, Mary?
Well, what they have up there, just so people can be very clear, I'm sure you've already explained the Grove, but just for people who are just tuning in, it's a 2,700-acre beautiful retreat. You were here, Alex. You know it's a very, very beautiful
Yeah, I'd love
spot.
to live there.
And it's very hidden away, tucked away in a little town called Monte Rio, and it is actually the retreat of the Bohemian Club, which is headquartered in San Francisco.
Stay right there. More coming up, and it is in a gorge, formerly known as a canyon.